maker, our workshop facilitator, is Evelyn Holmberg. She's up the upper left of my screen. And she is also the newest director on our Knit for Peace board of directors. And I'll also point out another one of our directors is Marcia Landreth, who's also one of our board of directors, and I'm the chair of the board of directors. So we're thrilled to have you all here tonight, and it makes our work so rewarding to see everybody here. So I'm going to admit some more people here. And Evelyn, if you're ready to take over and just introduce yourself and let us know how many Peace Pals you've made and whatever you've got planned.
All righty. Well, hi everyone. I'm really, really happy that so many people joined in. So thank you very much. It's pretty exciting. It's going to be a make along. So maybe at some point, Kim, we can turn on the voice for other people so we can, knit together once we've, got going. So I wanted to thank everybody for coming. I wanted to thank some people who actually made a donation when you registered. That was very nice. So we appreciate that. Let me see. What we're going to do, what I'm going to do, you guys can knit whatever you like. And if you want to knit a Peace Pal, that would be great. And if you want to knit a hat or mittens, that would be great too. But what I'm going to do is show you how I make my Peace Pals, which is a little bit different from the directions or the pattern that is the one that Knitting for Peace has out there. And Kelly wanted me to explain the reasons why mine is different, why I changed it. And it's really basically just because of my preference, the way that I like to knit. So let me see. There's two patterns that they have. They've got one for Peace Pal in the round and for knitting, and the other one is knit flat. And I really like to knit flat. For me, it's just faster and easier. So I noticed on the Peace Pal in the round, they say cast on 32 stitches. On the Peace Pal flat, they also say 32 stitches. But I always add 2 extra stitches because I'm going to seam. We're losing 2 stitches because of the seam. So it should have read 34, but it still says 32. And then I add an extra stitch because if I want to make some kind of a decoration that goes down the middle of the shirt, I like to have a center stitch there. So I cast on 35. That's my first difference from their pattern. Let me see. I do the feet in stockinette, not in garter stitch, which is how it's written in the other pattern. I like to have a face that's a little bit smaller. So instead of 10 rows for the face, I do 8 rows. I put cuffs on the pants and cuffs on a welt or cuff on the sweater, and then I put a collar on. So when I'm doing the collar, I actually bind off the body, and then I pick up stitches from the back to do the face and the hair. So those are the things that I've changed on the pattern. So I wrote out the pattern if anybody was interested in taking a look. It's 4 pages long, but it's very, very detailed. It's really not hard. And I guess that's about it. So I was telling Kim that it takes me about 2 hours to do the knitting portion of the Peace Pal. And we have like an hour and a half tonight, so I don't think that we're going to finish, but I'll start by showing you. We can just knit together. So I have my my yarn right here, and I'm going to turn my camera down a little bit so you can see me knit. All right, so I start out with I'm doing a long tail cast on, so I need about an arm's length for that. And then I cast on my 35 stitches.
I'm just curious. I can't see everybody, but I'm curious how many people kind of routinely knit Peace Pals. I'm If you do, raise your hand. I'm taking my hand down because I do not. Okay. Yeah, so quite a few. I see you over there on your on your sofa with your partner and the hand coming in from the side.
So
Yeah.
how many people knit?
Well, I mean, I can't see everybody, Evelyn. There are 18 people with us right now. So it looks like probably over half, maybe more.
Okay. Here, I'm gonna try it. Oh, nice. Crochet the first one. Hi, Joe. Hello. Excellent. I have not crocheted one, but I do a lot of knitting. So, all right, I've got my 35 stitches on here and I am going to count them to make sure that I have my 35 because that's what I cast on. Let me see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Hello, you guys. I see you. Okay, so I have cast on my 35 stitches and I do altogether 4 rows for the shoes. So my shoes tonight are gray sneakers. I'm going to start the cast on row since it's a long tail cast on. That's really a knitted row. So I'm going to start with a purl row and then do a knit row and a purl row. So that's going to be it. 4 rows all together. And the cast on is row number 1. So I'm going to purl a row and then knit a row and then purl a row.
Evelyn, would you like me to invite people to unmute themselves? Or would you like it quiet for
Why
a
don't
while?
Try it. Why don't we try it? That would be
Okay.
nice. They have something to say.
Okay. So if you would like to participate and just chat or talk or ask Evelyn questions as we're doing this, you can unmute yourself, which is the lower left corner of your screen on the microphone. If you just click that, it will unmute. Hopefully we won't get a lot of background noise when that happens, like dogs barking or my husband is cooking dinner in the kitchen, which is just so close. So hopefully we won't hear banging lids and things like that. Evelyn, you're muted though. I don't know that you, yeah, somehow you just muted. There you go.
Maybe everything just switched the other way. Oh, it looks
Yeah.
like everybody's muted.
Coralie is not. She's the only one I can see right now that's not.
Pamela, Margaret, Mira. I think they're all muted. Marcia, Beverly.
Yeah. Well, not everybody may want to unmute themselves, so that's okay.
Okay.
So I'm trying to stay unmuted. I mean muted because I have a year-old puppy who just woke up and has decided it's time to play.
Okay,
Okay, I'm gonna mute.
thank
Okay,
you.
I didn't even see your face. You're Vicky, huh? I would like to know, is there anybody who is following along with me? And should I stop when I finish my feet? And well, unless you guys are ahead of me. Is there anybody who?
I am trying to knit my very first Peace Pal.
Okay,
I'm trying, but I
right.
have a year old puppy, so I'm just getting cast on because while he was asleep an
We
hour
have-
ago, now it's playtime.
Oh, gosh.
I
We
know.
have two in our group who are knitting along with you.
Okay, I see a hand. Hello. Okay.
And
so
you can't,
I'm
you
gonna-
can't see my face, but I'm Sarah and I am knitting along with you too.
Okay, so that's like 3 or 4 people knitting.
Trying to, Evelyn. My name's Mira, but I got late by a few minutes. I have 2 kids with me. That's why I'm muted for the most part.
I see them. Beautiful.
And also in the Margaret's screen is Kathy Partridge, who says to say hi.
Hi,
Oh,
Kathy.
Kathy. I see your hand. There she is. Hi, Kathy. So,
Evelyn, Joe is here. Joe's on, and
I
she
saw.
asked if do you have one of your finished Peace Pals available to
Oh
show?
man, yes, I wanted to show it. Okay, thanks, Joe, for the reminder. Yes, I do. Okay, so this is the one that I am doing tonight. Well, different colors. This is the one that's made with, you can make them with worsted yarn or you can make it with DK. This is with DK, but then this is what I prefer is DK. I like the feel of it. This one is worsted. So you could see that it's a little bit bigger. Whichever you choose to do, this is their backs. It's fine, whatever you're comfortable with. So if you're doing a DK, I always use a size 2.5 needles. And I get a nice firm fabric with that. And when I did the worsted, I used size 4. So that when they're stuffed, you can't see the stuffing sticking out.
Yeah, that's good. That's a better, if you can hold, yeah, we can see their faces and yeah.
There he is. Hello there.
Can you
Nice,
bring me
happy
that
Peace
list,
Pal.
Leah? Bring me the pattern, please.
Yeah, they do. Joe, yeah, they do look all different. Joe had sent me a while ago a crocheted Peace Pal for me to take a look at. I don't know
It's not in the car.
who crocheted it, but this is adorable. This is a crocheted one with fancy hair and a beautiful dress. I don't know how to do this, but she is beautiful. And there's her little hijab. She's very pretty. Okay.
Yes, she came with her very own hijab.
Yep.
I just want to put a plug in if anybody is doing hijabs or has the pattern for hijabs. It's so wonderful to get Peace Pals with their own matching hijab because sometimes it's really tough to match them up later on. And also, if you have different colors of yarn, we are desperate for dark-skinned Peace Pals. I get so many requests for those, and I often have none to send out. So medium and dark browns are the 2 most in demand ones.
Great.
It's just so
For those of you who don't know, that last voice was Joe Cohn, she's our delivery and program coordinator for Knit for Peace. So she sees all of the items basically that come through the doors of the church when they're either delivered locally or they're sent to us from around the country, from you individually or from the Peace Pods. So almost everything goes through Joe's hands, right, Joe?
This is
Yes,
Pam.
it's the most fun job in the world. It's so wonderful. And thank you all for being here.
Pamela, you have something to say?
I did. I just wonder if you could mention where it is that you ship the Peace Pals to if they go out of your area.
Joe, can you answer that?
I can. Peace Pals go all over the world. I just got a request for some to go to a school in Kenya. We send many to Guatemala. Several of the different African countries take them. We have sent to Ukraine. Haven't sent to Ukraine in a long time, but we used to send there. So they basically go all over. A lot of schools use them. We have a program actually for elderly patients with dementia in California that has requested some, and they talk about how loved they are. One of our programs in Trinidad had called and asked if they could give them to adults because there was an elderly man who came to one of their events where they had given out Peace Pals, and he just wanted one so badly. And so they let him take one, and they're like, is that okay?
Oh, that's wonderful to hear. Thank you so much. That did cross my mind about elderly persons too. I thought they might
Yeah, we
be a
have
nice
to be.
little companion. Yeah.
Oh, show him again,
Pamela,
Yes.
Pamela. He's so cute. Can you show him to us again?
Oh, mine?
Yes.
Can you see it?
Nope.
No.
see your face.
Oh, there.
There.
Oh,
Oh,
This is my first one. I just started making these a couple weeks ago.
Oh,
that's
So,
wonderful.
So here's another one I just finished. I've made about 10 of them. And they're really fun. I just have so many scraps of yarn. They're just a great way, to use up my scraps.
very
Good. Lighting's not great there, I can tell. Yeah. But
It's
yeah,
hard to believe you just started.
they're just
Those
kind
are
of fun.
beautiful.
Yeah, they're really fun.
Thank you.
Mhm.
All right. People who are knitting with me, please let me know when you're finished with your feet. So that would be the cast on row and 3 rows of stockinette.
And Mira here, I just want to say I'm on the other end from Pam. I think I've tried to do this 3 times following the pattern, and I still have not managed to figure it out. I have like 3 different little things of multicolored yarn knitted, but didn't know how to bring it all together. So I'm on the other spectrum, Evelyn.
Okay. I thought the directions were really, really very good. The first time I had a little trouble with the skirt, attaching the skirt, but I got that down now.
Mira, do you have do you have those pieces that you started with?
Well, it's not finished, but
Mhm.
I have one of them here, but I was sewing it together.
Oh, yes, yes.
But I have to stuff it. So I was going to stuff it from this side, but I gave up on doing it as I went along and just
Oh, the
wanted to-
darling.
we'll get there, but yeah. So
I found it
I just kept
easier to
getting
do the
confused with-
face before I seam the back of it.
What did you say, Pamela? Repeat that.
I found it easier if I did the face, the eyes and the mouth before I put the seam in the back of it.
Okay, so I do mine a little differently. I don't do this. I do the face very last, very,
Okay.
very last. So this is one that's in the works. Doesn't have arms yet. This one has arms, but no face.
And I would just say, Mira, you're on the right track. And when Evelyn did this workshop during Create-a-thon, one of the things that helped me, although I prefer to knit mittens, so I'll probably never knit a piece pal, but she said it's basically like knitting a rectangle. And I
Mhm.
thought that was really helpful until, until you seam it up. So yeah, you just got like a colorful rectangle until you get to that point.
But
And
I
Mira,
see
were
that
you-
Evelyn's instructions are different than the ones that I downloaded some time
Yeah.
ago. So we'll see.
Well, yours
I'm just
looks
not
like
so
you
good
did-
at patterns.
You did the whole thing in garter stitch, it looked like. So you're knitting flat. It looked like you did every row. Oh, okay. So you were following the directions for knitting in the round, but you were knitting flat.
I've got I really,
Because it said there somewhere that you could knit it flat and seam it up because I wasn't getting I couldn't figure out the round, doing it round that tiny. So
the pattern
I'm not so good with Magic Loop yet.
Go ahead, Beverly.
The pattern I have calls for 4 rows of knit for the feet. I think this is an older pattern, maybe.
That's one of the things that I do differently. I know the pattern that they have, even the one for knitting flat has every row in the shoes knitted, where I prefer to have stockinette there. And that's fine. That looked great. Let me see. Oh yeah, very, very nice.
Yeah, it's not stitched up or it doesn't have a face yet, but
It looks great. That looks
So how
perfect.
did you do the fuzzy hair on top?
with the eyelash type yarn,
I don't even know what that is. So you used a different yarn on the top?
yeah, it's, I'll show you. It's this type of yarn.
Huh.
And you can use, like I got a lot of scraps here. You can use all different colors.
Hmm.
It doesn't have to be hair color.
Right
Like,
here,
like that
crazy.
one's purple,
perfect.
That's fun.
but this one's black. So,
Beverly, did you do those in like reverse stockinette, or you just did stockinette for those?
well, there's the occasional roll, like the first 4 rows are knit. Then you do stockinette for the legs, and then for the belt, it's a knit row.
Mhm.
I think I've made 1 or 2 before where I put them together, and then I made these 2 and didn't put them together, but I think it's the original pattern. And then, and then I've got the yardages. So it's like 5 yards for the feet, 11 yards for the pants,
Mhm.
Wow.
2 yards. That's helpful
That is.
to know if your scraps are the right amount.
Evelyn, I've got a couple of comments that people are done with the feet. So if
Oh,
you feel like
good.
you're ready to move on.
Okay. How you doing there, Mira? Do you have your 4 rows done too? Oh, good. All
I'm
right.
just about.
So,
Can I say one quick thing? If anybody wants to experiment with the fun yarn, we have an abundance right now at the office, and I would be happy to send you a little packet of fun yarn. I'll
Very
put my email address in the chat box, and feel free just to let me know that you'd like some fun yarn, and I'll be happy to send it out to you.
Thank you,
Okay.
Joe.
all righty. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of show you my hands now. I'm gonna start another color. So my pal's pants are gonna be this bright pink here. So I want to, I've got it, facing me. I want to weave in the shoe yarn. So I'm gonna start knitting my first stitch with the pink. And then I'm going to weave in the gray, which I'm kind of holding with my left hand here. And I'm going to go under it. And then I'm going to make my pink stitch.
You're a little to the side of, yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
I see. I'm kind of looking at my knitting and not my hands. Okay, and then I'm gonna go over it. So then that catches the gray. And then under the gray.
He's being a good boy. You're being such a good boy. Good puppy dog. Scissor.
And maybe 6 stitches. So then that leaves my gray kind of, you know, about an inch in, just kind of hanging down there. And the tail from the pink, I'm going to weave that in on my next knit row. So right now I'm gonna finish knitting across this row with the pink.
And are you started on the pants? What section is this?
This is pants.
Evelyn, sorry, how are you getting the gray tail to be woven in? Can you
Oh.
just show me how you're doing that?
Yeah, let me, I'm going to take out what I just did so that I can show you.
Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. You do any color work knitting? Any?
I've done a little bit of stranded work, so it's not, yeah.
Okay. So when you do stranded, do you weave your the new color in, or you wait until you're all the way done and then use a needle?
Oh, this is last year. I think I've done both, but
Okay. If you've done both and woven in as you've knitted, it's the
I
same.
don't know. I don't think I've woven in as I knitted. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I just darned it in the seam at the end,
Uh-huh.
Darn
joined
it.
and darned it in the seam.
Yep. That's a good way to do it too. Okay. All right. Let's see. So here's the gray,
Yep.
and you've seen it from the back though.
Right.
So, all right, so I'm holding it kind of in my left hand
Uh-huh.
like this. Now I'm going to go through as if to knit that first stitch.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got that one. But before I wrap my yarn, I'm gonna slip my needle under the gray. And I'm gonna wrap my yarn,
Oh,
and then I'm gonna
okay.
pull my
You
stitch.
keep doing that a
through.
few times.
Well, you do that once. Now the next time you're gonna go in through your stitch and over the top of the yarn instead of under.
And then you still carry it through.
Yep. So it's under. And then the next one is over. Under. And over.
So are all your stitches pink right now on the needle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, see, mine, I've got 2 gray ones. I gotta figure this out. No worries, Evelyn. I'll experiment with this.
And you know what, if I can find a good video that shows you how to do it, if you give me your email address, I'll get that to you.
Okay.
In the meantime, you can do it the way Beverly's doing it and just, you know,
Yeah, I think if you were able to turn around and hold it over your shoulder and show us how you were doing it.
you know what? That's such a good idea, Beverly, that I tried. I really, really tried. Look at what I've got set up over here.
Uh,
I've got a tripod. I tried to do it with my telephone. Maybe for next time. Maybe for next time. My husband and I are going to work it out so that you
Cause then I could copy it. And the way you're doing it now, I'd have to copy it in reverse.
Well, here, let me turn my body around. All right, we're gonna try again. Ready?
Yeah,
I don't know if you could even see it. We get this behind. All
Might
right.
need to be closer to your camera lens or
Yeah, it's not gonna work. It's my computer. All righty. This is fun. All right. So I'm holding this with the old yarn with my left hand. I'm going under the stitch like that I'm going to knit.
Yeah.
And then, oh, now it's off the needle. Yep. So before it gets off the needle, you want to put it underneath. Underneath. And then wrap it. And then the next one goes over.
I think it's a little hard to see, Evelyn. It's just not close enough.
I know.
But you're
Okay,
trying.
it's okay. Thank you for trying to show us.
Yeah.
No, I will definitely get some kind of a tutorial somewhere online. I know they've got them. All right.
Because that's really convenient to not have to sew in so many ends. Because you
Right,
keep
I don't.
color for this.
Right, I don't sew them in at all on this.
Oh, that's nice.
Kinda on the inside, I don't even clip them unless they're a very, very, very bright color. All right, so I am just gonna knit to the end of this first row with my pink. The second row, which you would think is gonna be a purl row, I am going to knit that so that I get these little cuffs on the pants. You see the cuffs?
yeah.
So if you want to make cuffs on your pants, that second row is, it looks like it should be on the purl side, but it's going to be another knit row. So two knit rows with the pants color.
Just noticed my pattern calls for 32 stitches and I put 35, so this one's gonna be a little fatter.
Well, you're doing what I'm doing. I put 35.
Just a reminder that when the email was sent out this afternoon, the pattern was attached.
Oh, I didn't get an email. I had to go back to the old email.
Oh, that's strange.
Okay.
You know, strange things happen with Zoom all the time, so.
It would have been an email from Kelly.
I didn't get one, but it seems like I always have interesting problems getting on Zoom anyway. I consider myself lucky when I succeed.
Well, I know she sent out maybe 2 or 3 today, so it may have got lost in the you know, the sequencing of, I think it might have been the middle one where the pattern was attached.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you want to go
I
back.
also I didn't look in junk either. It could be in my junk email.
I did receive the pattern.
I got it also.
Good.
Okay. Is that the pattern that they want us to use now? Is it like the original pattern updated?
No, I think you can use any pattern that works for you and makes a beautiful doll and something that you love.
Okay,
But really that follows the guidelines of, you know, skin tone and size and facial expression.
Eye
But
color and all
yeah.
that.
yeah, other than that, yeah.
All right, so I have finished my 2 rows of knit. So now I've got that little the cuff for the pants. And now I'm on the right side of the material. I'm going to start my stockinette. So I'm going to, this first row is going to be a knit. And when I do that first row, I'm going to weave in the color for my pants like I did for the shoes. I'm going to do the pants tail this row.
what size needle did you say you're using?
I'm using 2.5 for for a DK weight yarn.
Oh, okay, I knit a little bit tight.
Okay.
I'm using a 5 in worsted yarn.
Okay, I did this one with a 4 in worsted.
Uh-huh.
When you stuff yours, does the stuffing show through?
The 2 that I finished, I don't really remember. I mean, I don't remember what size needle I used. The stuffing was fine.
Oh, okay. If the
Yeah,
stuff,
my knitting tends to be a little firm, just the way I knit.
so yeah, so what you're getting with your 5 is probably what I'm getting with my 4.
Yeah, and I couldn't find 2 4s in a hurry, but I could find 2 5s in a hurry.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So just when you're finished with it, and because I've done that before where I've like overstuffed it, and then sometimes you see the stuffing, that's no good. So just take a look at it, you know, and say, oh, well, my stuffing is invisible. That's perfect.
Yeah, the ones I did, I remember, I think I did 2 before, 1 or 2,
Okay.
and the stuffing was fine. And these ones that I haven't stitched up, I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, they look very cute. So I was just asking you about the eyelash yarn. When
Yeah.
you do that, you're just knitting the knit side and purling the purl side. You don't reverse it.
I just followed the pattern.
Okay.
Knit. Yeah, it looks like it's all knit.
Oh, okay.
Means to fuzzy yarn. Knit 4, knit 2 together, repeat, then a knit row, then a knit 3, knit 2 together.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's all knitting.
Good, good. I understand.
So Evelyn, did you switch colors again or are the pants pink?
Pants are pink.
Okay.
I think the shirt's gonna be white or something.
This one says that you can use the same colors for the feet and the pants, but I changed.
Well, and
So-
honestly, Beverly, you can. I mean, you can make them the same. It's just, I think Evelyn, I used to I've moved from Denver, but I used to unpack the boxes that people would send or Peace Pods would send to the church where we unpack items. And so I've seen a lot of Peace Pals, and they're all pretty darling, but Evelyn is kind of like an 11 on a scale of 10. Hers are
Oh my goodness.
hers are really pretty adorable. So I think one of the nice aspects of this workshop is that we get some of her little nuances that aren't in the pattern.
Yeah, I just want to see how others do it, because
Yeah.
Well, you
always,
well, we're gonna,
can always pick up new ideas.
if you put your email in there, I can send you the pattern, how I'm knitting it, if you wanted to give that a try. You're knitting flat also? You're knitting, yeah, you are, you're knitting flat.
Yeah, and now after the garter stitch feet, now it's stockinette for the pants
Okay,
on this pattern that I have here.
yep.
Water stitch feet would be cute. So I have a question. Is there any way I'm using worsted weight on a whoops, 4? Is there any way to sorry, I'm being attacked by my dog again. Is there any way to make sure that it's going to be solid enough before I put my stuffing in while I'm knitting it? I mean, I could, now would be the time to change needles.
No, I think a 4 is good. Is it,
Okay.
this is the, I forget, Vicky, this is your first one?
Yep. Yep.
I think,
I do
4
pretty well with mittens, worsted weight on even a bigger, but I don't know. I don't want the stuffing. I mean, I don't want to have to. I mean, my dog would love this. He's loving it already.
good. I
Evelyn,
think,
don't you think if it's really stretchy as you're knitting it, you can tell that it's, if the PAL that you're knitting is really stretchy, that's not a
Right.
good sign that the stuffing's going to show through.
I almost want to say, I don't know, I don't have one that's partially knit in worsted. But
Some people knit looser than others. I say mine
Right.
tends to be a teeny bit on the tighter side.
Mm.
Some people are more on the looser side, so you kind of have to try it out, I guess.
I would say keep going on the 4. I don't think that
Alright.
it would be comfortable on a 3. I would say do your first one on a 4 and stuff it.
See
And
how
then
it goes.
if it seems like, sometimes, like I was saying before, sometimes you can put too much stuffing in it and then it's just gonna show. So I stuffed the head pretty, the head is bigger than the body. Widthwise, I stuffed the body less firmly than the head. So you could take some of the stuffing out
If it's showing.
if it's showing, yeah. Before you cinch up the bottom of it.
I have to go. The dog just went down to the door.
Okay,
I'll be back.
excellent.
The first one that I made, I didn't get the body parts very proportional.
Mhm.
I think the arms were a little too fat and it was a first effort.
You know what, they take practice, and because when I started also with the pattern that they gave me, and then, I made a few and I said, oh, well, this works nicely, or, oh, I don't think I like that, and I bet I could do a better job on this, and what if I change that? So it may be like that for you, if you
Yeah, and
can,
I haven't done any with skirts, and I think that would be cute.
skirts are, you're telling everyone my syllabus, because this session, for those who are following along, is going to be just the knitting. So you're just going to wind up with a rectangle. And then next one, which is on December 3rd. So mark your
December
calendar.
3rd.
Yeah, I think all this information will come to you anyway, but the next one, December 3rd, we're going to be seaming and stuffing and making faces and just basic hair. And then the third one, we're going to do fun hair or hats or glasses or whatever. But I also have plans for different skirts, because I've got maybe 3 different skirts, maybe 4 different styles of skirts that are really cute and easy.
Hmm.
I got the hijabs that Joe was talking about, which I need to perfect
Hey,
that because
I can't do
they
this.
slip
I
up.
can't do
I
this,
have
Rudy.
to figure something out with those. I've got ones that have a slouchy sweater, so really short pants and a long sweater. And I've got we can make a baby one that has a bib. We can make one with overalls. We can make scarves. I mean, there's so many different ones that we can make. I've got a million ideas for a million.
Sounds like fun.
Anyway.
Where do I put my email? Do I put that under chat?
Yeah, why don't you do that? Can you figure it out?
Oh, I'll figure it out somehow. Here we go.
We'll tell you if we see it.
Okay. So then and these, Kim, do these notes stay even
They
after
do.
so
Yeah,
that I can go back and get people's information?
yeah.
People can go back and get Joe's information. I got yours, Beverly.
Yep, there it is.
There it is.
And this is being recorded so that if we can't make one of the sessions, we can listen to the recording.
Can you get a
Cor-
pen, sweetie?
Correct. I mean, it's, I think, I don't know if Kelly's gonna put it up on YouTube. I'm not sure about that, but, she can email all of you and send you the link to the recording, and hopefully it's a, honestly, I don't know. But I will follow up with Kelly, and Kelly will send out an email to all the participants.
Is
Thank
December,
you.
is
Passing the buck.
December 3rd at the same time?
I think all of them are going to be at the same time.
Rishi.
And then
Rishi,
do you
pen.
have the date for the third one?
Pens are on the thing there.
I do, January 8th.
Okay, I'm gonna mark those in my book so I don't have to remember them.
Beyond that, they're not scheduled, but like I said, I've got a million ideas. Plus, it's nice to just, knit and chat with people.
Evelyn, I'm curious. So if I mean, I won't finish this now. I have I gotta go do stuff with the 5-year-old. But if I follow this and don't seam it up or don't stuff it, because I keep getting to the point where I stuff it and then I'm not sure how to go the last stuff, the last little things. So if I did everything and waited to stuff it at the next tutorial, would that make sense?
That is perfect sense, because we're only here for an hour and a half, and then I think
Right.
this is over. I'm not going to be finished in an hour and a half because I've been chatting. I think we only have half an hour left. But everyone will have homework, because I used to be a teacher, and the homework is to finish the knitting. But so
Wait, does that include doing that thing around the neck?
yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, so okay, so that's what I'm gonna do right this very minute, and hopefully it'll work. So I have knitted one that you can see. I've got the pants. I've got the shoes are light blue, and then the pants are dark blue, and then you could see the cuff, hopefully, that one row. And then I knitted up the pants, and then I started the shirt also that has a cuff. I guess it's the welt or the waistband of the shirt. And then here's the top of the shirt. And then I did on the right side a row again of purl, and then I turned it over and I cast off knitwise. So this is what it looks like from the front. And then I'll show you what I do to pick up stitches from the back so that I could knit the face. All right, let me
Okay. So we have to do that by next month. Yes?
but if you get stuck on it, then we'll do the beginning of the next one. I'm gonna knit 4 stitches and get my needle ready.
So Tuesday, December 3rd and Wednesday, January 8th.
Okay, I don't know the days, but those dates are correct.
I
If
think
it-
December 3rd is a Wednesday, isn't it?
I've got Tuesday. in my
Okay,
book.
It's got to be a Tuesday because the Sunday is the first.
okay.
So Evelyn, you don't, you do it differently and then you pick up stitches for the face instead of continuing to knit the whole thing through, which is
I do, but
one of the patterns.
if you wanted to knit the whole thing through, you could. I just don't like the look of it personally, so I cast off or bind off or whatever you want to call it. So, let me see. if
Then
I-
do you pick up a smaller number of stitches?
No, I still pick up 35.
Oh,
All right, so, goodness. Okay,
That's good.
yeah, you
You're
can
off
see
the
it.
screen.
I'm
You're
off.
off the screen.
Yeah, that looks
That's
good.
better.
Can you see it?
Yeah,
Nope.
Okay. So I'm gonna pick up the pearl bumps on the back. So sometimes they're described as smiles and frowns. So the ones that go, well, I guess it's pretty self-explanatory. The ones that look like a smile, I don't do. The ones that look like a frown, I do. So it's like,
wow.
But it looks like you're doing a row below where you cast off, correct?
yeah, yep,
Okay,
that's what I'm
okay.
doing. Of course, I'm missing some because I'm, this is
Yeah.
not the right position for me, but every stitch, just get the pearl bump. Can you see that at all? Probably not, right? Did I put it in
Challenging.
did I put it in the pattern? Let me see.
I think you did, if I
Yes, you
remember
did.
right.
It's in there.
Yeah,
Now, can they be made with wool as well as acrylic yarn? Or do you recommend against wool?
that would be up to Kim, I think.
well, Joe, what do you think about that? Wool versus acrylic?
I've wondered about that because right now we've got a lot of wool yarn that has been donated to us.
Mhm.
And I've wondered if it would make good Peace Pals.
I've
I
used it in
think
the past.
what?
I have used wool in the past. I mean, and it looks beautiful. I love wool. I guess it's only if you think that somebody's gonna throw it in the washer or dryer.
I
Or
think
if
washer or dryer, and I think it depends on the wool too, because I think there's wool that's kind of soft and cuddly. And then there's wool that's rough, and I don't know that I would use the rough wool just because if a young child has it, it just wouldn't be as tactily as pleasing, perhaps.
I agree, Joe.
Yeah, so, and some is some's machine washable, and the older yarn, some of which still gets donated, is not machine washable.
Yeah,
Right.
some of that superwash merino is pretty soft.
And some people are allergic to wool. But I like to knit with it. Don't do it.
I
much.
put my email address in, oh, maybe it's only going to Kim. Can everybody see my email address?
Uh,
Evelyn, put to meeting group chat. Or I can actually copy it and put it in there.
I don't think I have, oh, there it is. Okay.
Evelyn, do you mind sharing your email so I can email you and ask you for that stranded knitting if you find a video with that?
I just posted it.
Oh, okay.
Can you see it? Do you have it?
I'll take a look. Yes, I can see it.
Okay, and I have yours as well.
And I see that Sarah wants some of the fun yarn. Was there anybody else that wanted fun yarn?
Mira.
I would like some. I'm Pam.
Pam, okay. Can you stick your
Mira.
address in the chat when you get a second?
Yeah, I'll try.
And I think Mira, Mary, you already put yours in there, didn't you?
Well, I just clarified,
Yeah.
I was wanting the stranded video and the fun
Yeah.
yarn, I think. I
Yeah.
think it looks really cool on the hair.
Now, if anybody's near me, I could give them some, but if you're all in Colorado, that won't work.
Ah.
Because I'm near Niagara Falls.
Oh, nice.
Oh, how
And-
fun.
Mary, you'll have to give your mailing address if you want the yarn.
Oh, right.
Or
So we could all meet in Niagara Falls for our next meeting.
If you come to Niagara Falls, get in touch.
I would love to. Who's in Niagara Falls?
Me,
Who's hosting? You're hosting the next one? We'll be there, Beverly.
you can talk me into anything, I guess. I've been knitting baby hats and dishcloths till they come out of my ears, so.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
And I've got a lot of scraps of yarn, a lot of scraps of yarn, so I need to be doing something that uses them up.
Well, I'm gonna say bye to everyone. Thanks so much, Evelyn. Thanks so much, Joe. Thanks everyone for organizing.
It was
Thanks,
really
Mira.
nice.
See you all
meeting
next
you.
time.
Nice
Great.
meeting
Bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye.
I've
Knit
got-
Thanks for
on.
coming. I have a personal question to ask.
This is
Um,
Joe.
Yeah, this is Joe. Sorry. Where do what kind of yarn do you guys like to knit with? I've became a quilter, and so it's been a long time since I've done knitting or crocheting. Since I've been at Knitting for Peace, I took up crocheting again. But like the yarn that I got this time for this Peace Pal is really splitting a lot.
Oh,
And I remember that different places had different kinds of yarn from back in my old crocheting knitting days. Do you have suggestions of great places?
I
Oh,
knit
yeah,
with,
you're looking for suggestions.
Yes.
I knit with what people donate, and some of it's over 50 years old, so.
Nice.
Uh,
I have been using, oh, it's backwards, isn't it?
No, it's
No,
fine. Paint box.
it's actually
It
not.
looks good. We can read it.
Paint box, yarn, and then there's another one called, this is DK, and another one called Stylecraft.
mm.
Yep.
Both of those are really, really soft.
And where are they from?
Oy, oy, oy.
That's okay.
I say hobby. Can't
No,
you get those through paint box? I think is hobby, isn't it?
I bought it online, from Lovecrafts. It was Lovecraft,
Okay.
which
Okay.
actually I think either they just bought Webs or Webs just bought them, didn't they? One of those?
Probably Webb bought them.
Okay. So yeah, Lovecraft, because I think I think it's in England. It
Yeah.
seems like it took a long time to get here. But I bought like one of every color for the Peace Pals.
Is it acrylic, Evelyn?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
I, for the first time, have been working with Lion Brand's Vanna's. No, that's not what it is. I don't know. It's a big, huge ball.
Vanna's Choice,
No, it's bigger than that. A pound of love.
Pound of Love.
Pound of love from Lion Brand. And I actually, I thought, oh, this is gonna be garbage, but I actually like it.
Yeah,
It,
Pound of
it's
Love is
very
good.
soft. I don't know whether it would be sturdy, actually. I mean, I've made several hats out of it, which I have to send out, but I don't know whether it'd be sturdy enough for Peace Pals. That's the only thing. I use a lot of their woolies for mittens because it's acrylic, but with a little bit of wool for extra warmth. And yet they're machine washable and dryable. So being this is my first Peace Pal, I don't know.
Well, I would try it on your second one.
I think I might go back to mittens.
Oh, okay. Well,
I
you
like
know, this is Vicky saying that.
Yep.
So, you can still come to these knit alongs, even if you're knitting mittens or hats.
Your hat.
I am not picky. I just like getting together with people.
Yeah, I'm enjoying this too. It's nice to actually knit with people.
Yeah,
Yes,
the
I
only,
like it too. And Vicky, I'm with you. I'm like really struggling with this. It's like, I think I'm going back to scarves.
Hey,
It's about my
if
speed.
you can knit a scarf, you can knit a peace pal.
I don't
It's-
know that neck thing. I already messed up the feet because I
You
just
don't have to
knitted
do the neck thing.
did
You don't.
straight
don't-
through for them, but it's so cute. I knit
don't-
straight through for the feet. I didn't do that ridge, but
Okay, who's saying it's so cute?
me, Vicky.
Vicky, okay. So what you can do, what I did before I decided to bind off is you can do the continued knitting and then make a scarf. And the scarf are very cute. You just make a little scarf and you tack it on there and it's cute.
Not use what I've knitted for a scarf, but to make a little scarf for the Peace Pal.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You know,
So see, that'd be a little bit narrow for a scarf, wouldn't it?
what would
35 stitches. 35 stitches would be narrow for a scarf.
Oh, you make it, you can, I will, there's gotta be a way for me to,
I can do it. I
Yes.
know I can do it. I
So-
can pick up stitches.
you could do it, or you could make, the scarf would be, I would make it longer than 35. You could make it like, I don't know, I don't know, here's your pal, if this is 35 stitches and we're starting
That
at one
wouldn't work.
shoulder and we go all the way around and all the way around, make it 60 stitches. And knit for a couple of rows and then turn it,
yeah.
bind it off. Or if you crochet, you can
Nope, I
make a
don't.
crochet chain stitch and use that as a scarf, which I've done on the baby Peace Pals. I will try and find a way. Hold on, and let me see if I can get a picture. Can you still see me?
Yep, I can.
Okay,
Vicky.
I am looking at my computer, and then if I can figure out how to share a picture. Where are my dolls? Okay. Here we go. Something with a. Because I used to make scarves all the time. Because I didn't like the neck.
When you're done talking about scarves, I have a question about the pattern.
I'm looking at you. What's your question?
I'm on row 35, starting the face. I finished the shirt and I like your collar or whatever it's called. And I picked up the stitches, but now I'm kind of confused on what to do. Knit these stitches through the back loops as they will be seated backwards. I
Right.
don't know what that means.
Okay.
I know what knitting in the back loops means. Can I just do that?
Yeah, so let me get a needle. So when you're knitting normally,
In
the,
the front.
yeah, let me see, the right leg of the stitch is in front. But as,
Oh, I see. When I turn it around, that's neat.
right? So you're gonna wanna knit in the back of the loop and that just twists them. So the next row
Okay.
correctly. Does that make sense to you? Did I?
Yeah. For some reason, I just didn't understand the words, but you explained it.
Yeah, I don't think that I wrote it very well, but I gave it a shot.
Oh, it's okay. It's just I was trying to read and listen all at the same time.
Okay.
And knit. Don't forget you were also knitting.
Yeah, knitting too.
And all righty, can Yeah, all the ones that I'm finding here on my computer are just scarves that I made by doing like one crochet chain stitch. But I know I've got scarves. I used to do it all the time.
Evelyn, maybe when Kelly sends out the link to the recording, you can send her a picture and she can include that in the email.
Okay. So send picture of scarves. Email. Good idea, thank you. Now I can keep knitting.
So where should we be right now on our PAL?
Everybody's in a different spot.
I'm on
tell
the
you.
face.
Approximately.
Coralie? Is that your
I'm
name?
on the face.
Yeah, she's beaten everybody. I am not even halfway through my pants.
Yeah, I'm just finishing up pants.
And then I've got half a face on one needle. I'm gonna just be sharing needles here.
And I'm working on black, which is impossible to.
Oh my gosh, especially this
Yeah.
time of night.
I think I've got the right number of rows, but it's hard to count it.
You know what? If it's off by one, that's fine, or off by two.
It'll be a shorter person.
Okay, so Jillian, I'm going back and reading these. I guess I should have been reading all along. Contact Joe if you want yarn. Mira wants the yarn. Beverly wants the yarn. Bess wants the pattern. Barb Kelter.
Yeah, I need the pattern, not yarn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've got plenty.
Tell you where I get a lot of the yarn for the hair.
I've got lots too, yeah.
I get a lot of the yarn for hair through thrift stores. They sell it real inexpensively.
Oh, that's
Yes. Yeah, most of the yarn that I use is donated, but I will buy stuff if I see it really cheap at rummage sales or thrift stores.
Mm-hmm.
The only yarn I find isn't worth your time and trouble is if you get some old nylon yarn. There was a period of time, probably 50s, 60s, where yarn, especially for baby yarn, became nylon, and it's kind of slippery to knit with, and then it doesn't wash very well. In spite of that, I'm knitting a baby hat with it at the present time, just so it doesn't sit there and look at me and tell me to do something with it.
It has a habit of doing that, doesn't it? Alrighty. And you know what? Sometimes if you lose your row count, people are different sizes and shapes. So if you get somebody who's a little taller or a little shorter, that's great.
So how many rows are the pants supposed to be?
11. Well, mine says 11.
Oh, mine is more than 11. All right, mine's gonna be a tall guy.
Well, mine, I do
And on wrong side, oops.
I'd have the row that's the 2 rows that form the cuff, and then I have 14 rows of stockinette.
Okay.
I
So
think,
everybody's a little different.
I
And we'll
just,
just caution that they shouldn't, Joe, is it 7.5 inches that they shouldn't really be above longer than 7.5 inches?
I think it's 7 inches.
7 inches.
I just purled a row that should be knit, so I'm gonna have to unpurl.
Knit.
Joe might be gone.
Who else is here?
Yeah, for some reason I was having trouble unmuting. Actually, I think let me double check so I give you the correct information. I think we say 7 to 9, but we take them littler. The littler ones, especially for going overseas, are very welcomed.
I
I've had
never
people,
heard mine. I always thought max was, I thought there were 5 to 7.
oh, maybe it is 5 to 7. Let me double check. I bet it's 5 to 7. I bet you're right.
Yeah, I
I-
think 9.
I
is-
did read 5 to 7 on your
Yep.
website. Yeah.
Yep, you're right.
This looks about 6, that one.
Yeah. Sorry.
You know, when you finish it, you're gonna have to, everybody show us what you've got next time. It'll be a
Yeah.
show and tell.
That's a great idea. I mean, I'll show my hat, but I would love to see.
I see your hat.
Yeah.
Very nice. You've got a little color work on there, didn't you?
No, it's just self-striping yarn. When I retired 2 years ago, my retirement party was canceled because of the pandemic, but the goal, the people who threw the party, everybody was supposed to bring a skein of yarn. And so I'm gradually knitting through the skeins of yarn I did receive that, just happened to pop in, even though
That
we
is
didn't have a
really
party.
nice. What a fun gesture.
I love that so much.
Ew.
Actually, 4 years ago, I retired. Ugh, wow.
Almost 20 years since I retired.
Wow.
Yeah, retired at 62.
Pretty
Yes.
sweet, isn't it?
It's
Best gig ever.
Get paid for not going to work? Oh, yeah.
So Evelyn, in about 5 minutes, do you just kind of want to reiterate homework and what the next make-along sessions will be and chance for
Yeah.
final questions and stuff?
Question stuff, right? How's everybody doing on theirs?
I'm unpicking my yarn that I did purl that should have been knit.
I'm sorry about that. It happens all the time, doesn't it?
Happens all the time.
Today I had a sweater that I had to knit the buttonhole band on, and then I sewed I knit the button band, sewed that on, knit the buttonhole band, sewed that on, sewed on all the buttons. And then when I buttoned all the buttons, it was wavy. I had too many rows in the
Yeah.
button.
Oh, golly.
I had to
Take it all out.
take it apart, take out all my sewing. Now I've got to knit the button band. Of course, it had to be the buttonhole band, instead of just the button band, which would have been much easier, but well, that's for tomorrow. How's everyone doing? Anybody have any questions?
How much should we have done for the next time?
Well, I would say finish this one as far as you can go with the pattern. Everybody has my email address now. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to just email me and I'll do my best to answer them. And
So
Make-
just get where we get to then.
I would, and then make more if you want to. You can come up.
Okay.
That's the way that I do it. I do it in batches. So I have a
You want
bunch.
us to have one at a certain point before the next class?
I'd like you to finish all the knitting on one if you can, all the way to where
Okay.
and you're just about there. You've got what?
Yeah.
10 more rows to go.
But if I finish this one, start another one and have the knitting only done.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna show us something else.
Unless you can, do you feel confident in, do you do mattress stitch? Do you,
I do. Uh-huh.
okay, if you feel confident and you want to go ahead as far as you can go, then do it. On this,
Okay. It's
you
just
have
if you're gonna show us some new tricks, I want to learn them.
Oh, my new trick. So my new trick was, it's mattress stitch for the back. And
What is-
then,
What is mattress stitch? I don't know that.
oh, you know, what, you might. So you do it from the front of the work.
I can show you some mattress stitch. Here's a hat I made yesterday,
Yeah.
and the back is mattress stitched, and it looks like it's just knitted in the round.
That is
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Mm,
Oh my gosh.
On
Yeah.
the inside, there's like a, probably can't see it because it's dark color, but there's a bump, like
Yeah,
a,
the seam.
yeah,
The
a seam.
seam, you mean?
it's really easy. So that was Beverly, right?
Poorly.
Does it refer to how you stitch it up?
Yes.
I don't know why it has that name, but what you do is
Watch YouTube.
what you do.
Yeah.
Right.
You
You
do.
watch YouTube to do it.
All right, I am not gonna do it this time, but you're gonna do it from the right side. So you put your, you make it look like a little tube,
Oh, I think my mom taught me that. I think,
and then you go in and out of one side and then in and out of the other, in and out of one side, in and out of the other. And when you pull it, it magically brings them together.
my mom showed me that. Okay.
Yeah,
I-
so that,
But I don't use it.
oh, okay. But
I
it's
just,
like
just-
pretty.
I kind of weave yeah, okay. I kind of weave the rows, to make the seam. I sort of, it's an overcast stitch,
Okay, and
but I go stitch by stitch.
it looks good?
It looks good,
Okay. That's the most important thing.
but I know what you're referring to now with the mattress stitch, because
Okay. Yeah, it probably has a million different names.
my mom and my sister are more expert knitters than I am. Crochet was always more my thing,
Oh, I'm the other way.
but I can knit and I've done a lot and I've done cables and that sort of thing, but done sweaters.
Well,
don't-
knitting, and do you still crochet?
Yes, I do.
You do granny squares?
Do granny squares, I do blankets, scarves. Not hats, really. The baby hats I knit, I've done hundreds of baby hats, if not over 1,000
Wow,
over
Are
the
you-
years. Yeah, I've been retired for almost 20 years.
nice.
When I was working, I always said when I retired, I was going to knit. I'd have time.
Yeah,
It was my
that's what I
plan.
did. And you're sticking to it.
Yeah,
That's what I'm doing. I basically knit most of the day. Do as little housework as I can get away
We
with.
have to go. My dinner's ready. See you next time. Bye.
Oh, so bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks for coming.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
okay, I'm up to the shirt.
Oh, so then your homework then is either if you feel like, go ahead and seam it up, do that. And if you don't feel confident seaming, then make more pals. Just keep on knitting, knit through your yarn, and then you'll have a nice stash. That's what I do. I first I do all the knitting, maybe 10, 15, 20 dolls. And then I go back and I do all the seaming, and then I stuff the head, and then I cinch the neck, and then I stuff the body, and of all of them. It just works that way for me, and then I have a lot.
So like an assembly line.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting ahead of you, but for the skirts, do you knit like a separate item or do you pick up the stitches and knit from picked up stitches?
Mhm.
Which-
I do the first thing that you said. There's a little
Separate.
the Piece Pal with a skirt pattern that's already on Knitting for Peace. I use that as my my pattern. I make different stitch patterns for the skirts, but basically I knit the skirt first before the pal, and then I hold that aside. Then I knit the piece pal all the way up to, I would do the feet and the legs up to about here, so that there's four rows left.
Yeah.
And then I change color, so that's gonna be underwear, so I change color here for underwear. And then around the waist, I knit the skirt onto the piece pal. Do you know how to do that? Where you have, you've got, it's like a 3-needle bind off. Do you know how to do 3-needle bind off?
No,
Oh, okay, so you have one needle in front of the other. The skirt is on the front needle and the piece pal is on the back needle.
yeah,
So this, for example, I have 2
uh-huh.
like that. And it's tricky, but it's a lot of fun. Let me see.
You do like 2 together?
Yeah, you're gonna knit
Can't
through
see it,
the-
Evelyn.
I know. The first one, you knit through the one on put your needle through the one on the first needle, and then on the second needle too.
Okay,
And
I got it.
yeah, then you knit them together, and then the skirt is attached to the doll.
And you,
It's a
you're
lot
gonna-
of fun.
You're gonna do that in the third workshop? Skirt?
Probably not. I
Oh,
don't
okay,
know.
okay,
A further one down the
okay,
line.
okay.
I would
But-
like to learn how to make lots of different kinds of skirts.
I have a couple of different patterns, so yeah.
Okay. The one that's on the pattern that's on the Knitting for Peace website, I have trouble with the skirt curling all the time.
Oh,
I don't know if I'm doing it wrong or what.
it curls when when it's
After I've
attached.
got it all put together, then the skirt just tends to curl up.
Do you have a hair dryer, like a blow dryer?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so what you could do is you would pin the skirt into the piece pal all the way around. So you would take some pins and don't pin it like all the way down, just pin it where you
Okay.
want it to be. And then use your blow dryer, your hair dryer, not real close because you don't want to singe the yarn. But if you make it nice and warm, nice and hot, go all the way around, and then you let it
You
cool.
don't wet it first, you just
No,
do
no,
it
no.
dry.
You just do it dry,
Oh,
and then it's a way to block acrylic yarn. You're using acrylic?
great.
Are you
Yes.
using? Yes. So yeah, I would use my hair dryer.
Oh, great.
Not real
Maybe I'll
close.
try one before our next class.
Give it a whirl. Yeah, see if it works.
Yeah.
What a wonderful
Thank you.
idea. Thank you, Evelyn.
I'm learning a lot here.
You're welcome.
Me too.
Pam, you had a skirt on your piece pal. How did you keep your skirt from curling up?
I think I just followed the pattern and I think it lays down fine.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay. Yeah, looks great.
Yeah, I think it worked fine.
Well, if it didn't, now we've got a tip how to.
It
make
might
it
depend on
look-
what type of yarn you're using,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah,
I
Okay.
pretty much just use DKs or very lightweight worsted. And I've always used size 4 needles. That just works good for me.
okay,
And they turn out, just over 5 inches. So
okay, great.
They're really cute. Yeah, mine are about 5 inches
Yeah.
also.
they're really sweet. Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with them.
Yeah,
They're
Okay.
a lot of fun,
Yeah.
aren't they?
They are.
Like potato chips. You can't.
Yeah, I know they're a little addictive. Yeah, I know.
okay. So next time, Evelyn, so homework is everybody should have their knitting done on at least one piece pal, or at least try to have their knitting done on one piece pal.
Yes.
Okay. And if they're ahead of that and they want to work ahead, they can do so. Or
can-
make more than one rectangle.
Yeah. And if they
Or
have any questions, please go ahead and email me. So my email is in that chat. And I guess I will also have Kelly share it with you in case you can't see the chat.
And I think that it probably is Kelly, our executive director, who is absolutely wonderful and fantastic, doesn't knit or crochet. So if you do have specific knitting questions, it's better to send your email to your questions to Evelyn. She'll be able to answer them. I mean, I'm sure Kelly would forward them to Evelyn. They'll make their way there, but probably a more direct route. And I think what we can expect is, I'm not 100% sure of this. I think Kelly will send out a follow-up email to all the participants tonight. I believe she will send out a link to the recording if that's needed for people. And I don't know what else. Anything else, Evelyn? Know that our next workshops are December 3rd and January 8th.
Can I ask a question about the faces? I don't know how well can you see the colors? Like this one I would think is medium and this one is dark. Is that? Oops.
To me, they look good, but Kim should answer because she's the one who used to be an intake. Well, Joe's there. Joe can answer.
Those look fine to me. I think Joe would probably agree. As
Mhm.
long as they're not black. You know, your dark is not black.
No, it's not black, but it is quite a dark brown. And then this is
Yeah.
And that seems to be
definitely
what they need.
darker than beige.
Well, if you have a lot of that, I think Joe said that they really need a lot of that, the dark brown faces.
Yeah.
So if you have more of that, go with that.
I need to sort out all my scraps of yarn.
And the one in your right hand, Beverly, is what we would call medium brown. So
Medium,
that's,
okay.
yeah, we do get like lighter colors, but I think Joe was saying we need those.
Medium, what you most prefer?
No,
Either one.
and actually, I think the one that you're holding to me looks like it might be more of a tan. The ones that we try to stay away from are the really light. Some people will send in white ones, you know, like white, and most people's skin is not pure white. So I would say either tan and dark brown, or it may be a medium, but the dark brown is what we need the very most of right now.
The dark. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Just dark
we're
brown.
desperate for that
one,
color.
yes. Yes,
Yep.
that one.
Okay.
All right. Evelyn, are you okay if we sign off? And thank you all for being part of the Knit for Peace for community. We appreciate you so, so much.
I had a really good time and I hope everybody else did too. I hope
The time flew by.
Oh, good. Nice to hear. Well, hope everyone has a lovely week. And if you celebrate Thanksgiving, hopefully it's a day full of happiness and gratitude. And we'll see hopefully all of you back on December 3rd.
Yeah, I hope so.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Evelyn and
Bye-bye.
Kim.
Great, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.